Um, yeah, thanks, Ode. So who am I? My name's Dev. I'm the founder of Sugar Wallet. Um, we have two products. One is a auto investing product for gold. So we automatically invest people's money into 24-karat bullion across India, New Zealand, Turkey. Sorry, guys, I'm going to shut off Discord so it doesn't distract you. Um, And our second product, which I'm pretty much about to do the exact same thing that this talk is about, um, is helps you find 10% of your income and put it back into your pocket within 90 days. We do this by optimizing your tax, mortgages, debt, subscriptions, etc. My background, so before this, I'm from New Zealand, born in India, grew up in New Zealand, moved here 2 years ago. Uh, Straight out of university, I started a custom clothing store, online store, and we grew that to the biggest custom clothing store in New Zealand in 3 years. Served BMW, Big Four, lots of end retail clients, international rugby teams, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, that's pretty much me. I love doing crazy growth stuff. I've been on X Factor to grow my blog when I was in university. Um, I like doing unconventional things. Yeah, probably not a very classical Oxford or Cambridge type of fit, but a bit of a weirdo. Um, yeah, that's me. Um, this talk is about our journey in sugar after we had been around for about 2 years, and we had gone through a series of pivots, um, and we landed on, sorry, 1 year, or just under 1 year, and we landed on auto investing app for gold. So we were previously doing auto investing for funds, but at this time the market was crashing. No one really was interested in investing at a just a regular person level who's never invested before. Because they were like, oh, if I put money in, my money goes down. That's kind of the mindset that person had. Um, Whereas gold was a lot more trusted, had been around for eons, and people understood the asset inherently. Um, so yeah, I realized after it started working in New Zealand that, wait a minute, gold is not really even a thing that gets consumed in New Zealand. What happens when you put it in markets where gold is actually consumed at a household level? So I did some market research. I was like, okay, which country buys the most gold? And like it comes up with your typical like, oh, China, Iran, India, Turkey, the US, Germany, UK, et cetera, et cetera. And that interestingly, Turkey had skyrocketed to number three out of nowhere in the last 2 years. And that was because hyperinflation. Um, And the plan at this point in 2023 August was to go and just test in different markets until we find a winner. And we'll double down on that winner. Um, Rather than like this global launch where we just go into every single market and then we'll just see who we can get, because it's a little bit different when you're running a financial product. You can't just put an app on the App Store and take users from everywhere. There's a lot of moving pieces in the operations, in the licensing, in the regulations, in the payments. It can get fairly complex. Then the next market was going to be India. India, I was actually really hesitant towards because it has very tough competition. At that time, there was already two players in the market, a YC company and a company who had raised 100 million already with a similar idea. And I was like, uh, don't know. But then somehow an Indian angel tried my Turkish app out. Loved the UX and the UI, and was like, hey, I'd love to help you launch this here. And I was like, sure. I was planning to just do Facebook ads at this point, which is what my go-to-market strategy was. But yeah, that's how we decided to launch in India. Someone just approached us and they were like, they can help. And we were like, cool. We were planning to try anyways, but this just accelerated us trying. Before I sort of dig deeper into the fundamentals as to how to grow, and it's not that complex, it's really important to not do this if you don't have your fundamentals nailed. And to me, a lot of that comes down to your business model. How much do you earn from a customer over their lifetime? Or you could even, for now, just say the first year. How much do you spend on that customer to get them? And does that roughly at least work out? Because that will form essentially your unit economics.
I'm in.
Sorry, did I miss a question?
No, I think that was someone's mic was accidentally on.
Cool. Might need to move. Oh, no, I'm good. Okay, cool. Ooh. Yeah, so don't scale if you don't know if you can make money. It's probably a bad idea. I've done this in the past, and it just means you will end up in a place where you've burnt money getting these customers without knowing how it all really plays out. And you can take risk, but if you're going to take risk, like let's say in our case, we had to simulate it because we earn money on a transactional basis. So if someone buys 100 rupees of gold or a pound of gold, then we earn a percentage of that. Now, we don't know how often they're going to transact, how much they're going to transact, whether they're going to stay on or not. So we had to simulate it and forecast it. But actually, if I was to give advice to myself, I would have ramped up a bit slower if I didn't know what the fundamentals looked like. Yeah. Okay. I actually think that this period is a lot simpler than my last talk, which was around product and problem. I literally have 7 slides for this because it just comes down to really basic things that people overlook. The first thing is channel. So imagine you are like, okay, cool, I want to get 1,000 customers. Well, to get 1,000 customers, you have to find out where do they live? Where do these 1,000 customers actually live online? There's a book by someone called Russell Brunson. I think he has this business called ClickFunnels. It's one of those like landing page type businesses that a lot of consultants use. But he has a book, I think it's called Online Selling, It's epic. Read it if you can. That's actually formed a lot of my fundamentals on how to find where your customer is and understanding what it means to know where they live. But the way I understand it is, um, sure, everyone knows that your customer might live on social media, especially if they're younger. Um, or that in today's date, a lot of parents are on Facebook. And this changes country to country. Um, and you can do some market research. I mean, especially now with ChatGPT and whatnot, you can easily do some deep research and find this out. Um, or you can just test it really quickly and be like, am I getting customers here? And that's a very deep topic as to how you do that, but we'll get into it if we get questions. Um, but the first thing is figuring out where your customers live. In my case, it was 23 to 30-year-olds um, who had just graduated from university in India. They often did not have savings because they were living at home and spending all of it. Um, they hadn't had a job at that point often. Um, and even now, between 23 to 30, they would earn a salary, spend it, earn a salary, spend it. Um, because it was like, oh, freedom. I'm living on my own. I'm getting to spend, I'm earning a good salary or whatever salary, and I'm getting to spend it. Um, whereas they were living at home, their lifestyle was constrained previously, and now they essentially have freedom. Um, how do I know this? Uh, I talk to people. I talked to different customers. I interviewed them. I researched online. I asked for referrals for people who were this age. I knew like 10 people because I was born in India and I still had like family. So I just asked for people I could interview, paid them like a fee for the interview, and that was about it. Um, but you could probably get them for free. So yeah, in my case, these people were either on other apps, so they were on like fitness apps, they were on food apps, they were on um, other fintech apps like credit building apps. Um, oh, they were on Instagram because Instagram's the primary social for uh, youth in India even today. And I knew that they were working at different jobs, and well, I could find them working at those jobs there. Uh, and yeah, um, I also knew that I could get foot traffic and have a billboard. Um, and I did have a billboard, and it didn't go so well. Um, and I kind of wish I tested before I did, because it was my most expensive. My I had two billboards, most expensive spend, least returning. I think I got 40 customers from two billboards, over 2 days in Diwali, which should have been the biggest pop, but it wasn't. Um, okay. Once you know where they are, um, which again, talk to your customer, do research. Um, find out what socials they use, where do they go, where do they eat, what do they do in life. And just by knowing that, you'll know where they live, online or offline. Um, the creative is essentially the image or the video you show them or present them. This was our winning ad on Facebook and on affiliates. So we advertised on other people's apps. Like there was an app called Cred, which was like a credit card app in India that was really popping off. We did this on Facebook ads. We did this one on billboards as well, but didn't work. And we also did this with employers on like A5 like handouts or flyers. But the thing we did first, after realizing the billboard was a fail, was test on Facebook. And within 24 hours, we knew that this ad was working. And kind of we just had the wrong audience, or we were reaching the audience in the wrong way through the billboard. So we had people look at this, see the offer, which was essentially £5 of gold, or like £4 of gold, digital gold, and that if they join, they can get £4 of digital gold, no questions asked, and that was it. How do we come up with this creative? For this, I had used friends in India who were good at copywriting, since I don't really understand the market. If you're launching in a market you have no clue about, if it's in English, great. If it's not in English, then like even for Turkey, we used a translator from Upwork, and he helped us create his the ads, and that worked. So it costs like $100, or £100 or £50. Just do it. You'll get better results than just using Google Translate. Yeah. But today's date, honestly, ChatGPT, that's what I'm doing for my next launch. And specifically, Gemini is the best creative writer. So use Gemini 2.5 Pro. Uh, Currently, it's the best. Maybe Gemini 3.0 will be better when it comes out next month. But yeah, 2.5 Pro, ask it to write in the style of Ogilvy or Rory Sutherland, or a local copywriter from that country, and it should do okay. It's really good if you provide a lot of context. So the whole thing I told you guys about, these people have recently graduated, have like not had the chance to have freedom, blah blah blah, all that stuff. All the stuff about your customer that feeding that context is really useful to get the kind of results you want. Cool. Once you've done that, run ads, change the ads every day, monitor them. Facebook ads is a whole thing, but if you need a video to go to, there's one by someone called Davey Fogati. I'll just type his name in the chat so you guys can see it. It's an e-commerce one, but honestly, the fundamentals are so good that I recommend it to everyone. He's done like a jumper brand, and like a calming blanket brand, but he really knows his stuff. So yeah, I recommend it. Cool. Back to this. Now, let's say you've managed to get people to download your app because you've got the right channel. When people see the video or they see the image, and sorry, to elaborate further, there is an art to that as well. Like for video, you want the typical 3-second hook structure, and then a body, and then a call to action. So a hook might be like one that's working for us right now for our new product is Are you digging a deeper and deeper hole with your debt? For people living paycheck to paycheck in cycles of debt. So that's just like a 3-second hook. Someone just talking to the camera. In today's date, you can get that done through AI as well. We use Sora too, and my AI generated content is outperforming my real people content. So crazy times. Used to pay $50 or $100 for these videos, and now you can do it in seconds for $2 a pop. But yeah, hook, body. So hook is like, why should they stop scrolling? Body is just describing what your app or product does or service does, and call to action is join Sugar today, blah blah blah, to start look at your 60-second audit to see if you can save any money, or claim your offer now for 500 rupees of gold. Cool. Yeah, okay, back to growth loop. Andrew Chen is a guy who I think maybe invented or was one of the early guys around this whole growth hacking concept. He was the guy who led growth for Uber, and he built out this concept of a growth loop. And he has essays, check them all out. He has really good essays that I'd say still stand true in time today. He also has a Twitter account that's got some great stuff. Mobbin is if you're app specific, then even if you're not app specific, you can apply it to your SaaS or whatnot. It just has other apps on there, so you can see what other apps do. So, this was our growth loop. Essentially, we imagine you have clicked a Facebook ad, or your employer has told you, hey, I'm going to give you all gold for Diwali. Here you go, sign up to this app. And this person trusts the employer and is like, yay, my employer is giving me gold. And we had a growth loop where we gave people a gift and gave them extra if in the 2 minutes within clicking that button, they referred 3 friends. So they have 2 minutes to refer 3 friends for essentially an extra bonus. I guess you can think of it like a gamified approach, or it's often even called a dark UX pattern. But essentially, we forced people to refer, or they could wait it out for 2 minutes and do nothing, but that would feel weird. So people had 2 minutes to refer up to 3 friends this app. And even if they didn't, they just went to the dashboard. So it wasn't like we were locking them out, but we were for 2 minutes. Yeah, that was the thing that caused us to get, I think on average, just over 3.2 referrals per person. So yeah, it kind of worked. Because it's also Diwali time, people are celebrating, people are on holiday. They're like, you know what, it's all good. It's really easy to just copy my link or like send it on WhatsApp. And it's got a pre-built message like, hey, thinking of you, just wanted to send you some gold. And gold in India is huge. It's India's the biggest consumer of gold in the world. It's trusted, etc. Retention. Wait, I'm gonna excuse me. I'm classic ADHD without a charger in my phone booth, so I'm gonna walk-in talk. Retention, honestly, if you are asking retention as a post-growth question, I think it's the wrong question to be asking. I think that retention should be a question that you solve first, and then you go and grow. So to me, the fundamentals will be off unless you have retention solved. So solve retention first, and then do the rest. Okay, I found a room and my charger. Um, Sorry guys. Okay. However, we ran into a problem because we couldn't get a subscription payments account, which is the entire point of our app, that it was auto investing. We couldn't get an auto investing subscription payment account in India for till mid-Jan. So November, December until mid-Jan, we couldn't, unless people came back to the app, we couldn't have them transact again and again and again unless they somehow remembered to. So what we did was we sent them WhatsApp blasts, we sent them emails with offers where we knew that, so we gave them, say, for example, 10 rupees of gold, and if they had invested, let's say, 200. So we would break even on that. And if we did it enough times, they would remember to come back to the app and remember that, oh yeah, these guys exist and there's a whole bunch of my gold on there. So that's what worked for us until we had auto subscriptions, and then it was easy. Then it was just set and forget. And that's why the retention of our product is also so high, because once you set it up, well, you keep investing. And that's the beauty of the product. And fintech tends to have high, like a bank, tends to have high retention. So yeah, that was how we got retention, even when we didn't have auto investing. We just reminded people that we exist with an offer that we broke even on. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Uh, there isn't some secret magic hack to do this, which is why it's this short. There isn't some crazy techniques I use. The video that I've sent on chat is the same one that I use to learn Facebook ads. Well, I learned Facebook ads a little while ago, but I refreshed myself, and every single person who's asked me recently, I've sent them that video that has pretty much everything that I use now. Yeah, I have the same tools that you guys have, ChatGPT and Gemini and whatnot. I just use like the classic, like, oh, you are David Ogilvy, or you are Rory Sutherland, help me come up with this copywriting. I'm not using some secret technique that gets me an edge that I haven't told you. But yeah, please ask away. I'm sure everyone has a bunch of questions.
Yeah, hi. I'll quickly come in here. Thank you so much, Dev. So Uday's not here in this masterclass, so I'll be facilitating it. So anyone who has any questions, pop them in the chat or raise your hand. We can go that way. But I'm happy to kick us off with a question. So yeah, thank you so much for explaining your journey. It's really cool because it, just to like reiterate what I've understood, is like it's in the fundamentals of like really understanding your audience in the get-go, and then from there tailoring your message so that it resonates with them, and then kind of figuring out what the best way is to like hook them in. Is that kind of correct, Dev?
Yep, yep. You may not know who the audience for your product is. Um, I've actually had that with my new product initially.
Mm,
Um, or you may have multiple people who might want to use your product and you have different messaging that goes with them. Personally, I just prefer, like in today's date, I will, whenever you think of a business or a product, I guess you have some user in mind, whether that's yourself or whether that's someone else. So you have one persona in mind typically, I guess. Um,
mhm,
uh, and you can just run a broad ad on Facebook, um, and let Facebook find the customer who fits your creative and your hook and your mental model of the fact that someone should be using this. And if you're right, then Facebook will find that person for you. And if you're not right, then you probably need to change up your hook and your creative and your messaging.
mhm. And it's kind of like you have this formula, but then you keep experimenting and iterating so that to see what gives you the results that you're looking for.
Yeah, like I had success with Facebook ads on my new product within day one, but it was giving me the wrong customers. Like it was giving me customers that I didn't necessarily want. And um, I had to go and change the hook because I realized that the hook was appealing to people who were um, deep in debt with arrears. So they were behind on their debts and they were often living off a government benefit, which was a lot harder for me to help than, say, my target customer who might be on um, a salary and is not behind on their loans or credit cards. Um,
Mhm.
so I had to change the messaging, uh, and then I found the right customer just by doing that.
Yeah, because that was actually one of my questions. Like, how long do you stick to one thing before you start pivoting and trying other things?
Max 24 hours, 48 hours. You
Oh,
should
that
be
quick.
able to find out within 1 to 2 days if it's working. If it's not, because how, in my understanding, Facebook ads, for example, works or Instagram ads work, is it's showing, and actually the same with TikTok organic, it's just showing your ad or your content to 1,000 people if you have broad ads running, for example, or TikTok organic. Um, and out of the 1,000 people, it's seeing who is engaging with it. If you have specified that your goal of the ad is to get a sale, then it's going to try and show you more, and it's going to try to show your ad to more and more people who buy. So if, let's say, 5 people buy your product, then it's going to show it to more and more people similar to that profile. If no one buys your product, then it still won't have any clue on who to show your ad to. And if no one's buying your product, then it's an issue of either that your content isn't good, um, or if a lot of people are clicking your, let's say, ad, then you know that your content is good, perhaps, but when they get to your website, something is off. Like your pricing might be off, you might be too expensive, or you might have the wrong messaging. Um, but in my opinion, as a startup, you should be able to get away with average messaging, average pricing. Like it shouldn't have to be perfect, because if someone really wants your product, they will go through the pain of all these other things, and overlook it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for that. I see we have a queue forming. So Sebastian, your hand's up first. So everyone who speaks, please introduce yourselves and then ask your question.
Thank you, Sebastian. I own my own consultancy in artificial intelligence, digital marketing, e-commerce, and now launching two AI startups in the Oxford area. Great presentation. I've got a question concerning what you just said about the people that you got on board with the first hook. How did you know that they were on state subsidies?
How do we know that they were on state subsidies? We didn't initially, and that was the issue, that we had people signing up to our new service, and we would go and talk to them because our new service is a service that we're scaling into a product. And once we spoke to them, we realized, oh crap, these aren't the right customers for us. Now we actually have a question we asked during our sign up. So our ad goes to, like, almost think of it like a type form survey, but it's not a type form, but like a conditional survey. And if they answer that they are behind on their loans and they don't have an income, um, uh, it'll take them to a different page. And then we'll know that they belong to, well, and we can see their results as well. We can see that they filled out a particular answer. So we'll know now that they're the wrong customer, and we've told Facebook not to give us the customers who land on this final URL.
Mhm. Okay.
So we've got a custom conversion that only gets shown to the customer if they answer all the right questions. And now Facebook optimizes for that URL being shown.
No, great trick, great trick. And sorry, last question on the back of that. Speaking about retention, email, WhatsApp was what works better for you guys for the retention piece?
In India, WhatsApp was great because India's WhatsApp usage is insane. But for our new service, which is targeted at Western countries, I would say it's a mixed bag. Yeah, I think the only thing with email that's a little bit trickier is nailing your deliverability, meaning that you actually end up in the inbox and not the promotions or their
Mm.
spam. I think the trickiest part is just making sure you are actually in the inbox.
Mm. Mm.
Um, yeah, with WhatsApp, like, we use WhatsApp Business for our new product as well, and the main issue is in Western countries. London's a little bit different, but say, for example, New Zealand, only half the people or a third of the people have WhatsApp. So when you send templates, which is the only way to reach a customer who hasn't interacted with you before, um, then it might not go anywhere because they don't have WhatsApp. So yeah.
Great, thank you, thank you.
Cool. And then the next question is Yijing. I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
Yeah, this is Adrian. Thank you, Dev, for sharing. It was really inspiring, especially given the growth loop framework and the helpful resources you share. Definitely, I will check it later. So I have a specific question about how to prioritize the channel. So give you some like context. I am a recent graduate from Cambridge, personally interested in the product and growth area, especially the product lead growth. So for teams, especially the small team that lacks the traffic or resources to conduct the A/B testing, we don't have many chances to do this, right? So how do you prioritize growth channels without relying on the A/B testing? Are there any quick and dirty testing methods that you would recommend for a rapid channel validation?
Yeah. Firstly, I wouldn't try and do like spray and pray. There is a really good website I used to use. It's called First Thousand. I'll link it here. Yeah. I used this quite a bit early on, actually. It has a lot of case studies how different companies got to their first 1,000 customers, and I would look at what channels they used. It might be useful, like it was a little bit useful for our new product, but I have a bias that if you're operating in most Western countries and most even a lot of Asian markets, even like Turkey, so many markets, um, if they're on Facebook or Instagram, I highly recommend Facebook ads or Meta Ads Manager. I really recommend it. You can spend $5 a day and start finding out things. So if you're absolutely broke, then I'd potentially actually go to TikTok. The challenge with TikTok, and also again, I'll recommend you guys something that is really good. So there's this guy I've been following who he's very app focused. Now, my second product is not even an app. It's a service, but there's still principles you can take from this guy. There's still principles you can take from this guy that will apply to your SaaS or whatever tool it is. Like it literally doesn't matter. It's the principles of getting people warmed up during your onboarding or like where to find the customers. In his case, the reason why I brought him up is he didn't have money and he started with TikTok organic and Instagram organic. And the way he broke down formats, how he found them, everything. I would look at that. But yeah, if I was doing it tomorrow, even with $100, I would still choose Facebook ads. Yeah. I have a friend who was literally spending $5 on her hair clip brand as of 3 weeks ago a day, and she's now spending $100 a day because things started working at $5, things started working even more at $10, and things are really working at $100. And she just tested a lot of things. She tested 20 different ads per day. So what's not as important is the budget compared to how many things you're testing. Like most people will create one ad or two ads or three ads, but create 15 ads. You don't know what's going to stick. And sorry, very technical specific thing. Make sure that you have an ad set level budget, not a campaign level budget. Because an ad set level budget will force Facebook to show each ad. Whereas a campaign level budget will let Facebook decide which one to show. Yeah. So yeah, Facebook ads. And if not, you can do TikTok, Instagram organic. I'm not an organic guy. But you can look at Desmond's stuff and I'm sure you'll find stuff there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Cool, thank you. I was very intrigued what you were saying about what was it, ad set level and campaign level. I didn't quite get the difference. I know it's a very technical question, but what was the...
Yeah, campaign level budget means, so how Facebook ads work is that there's a campaign, and then within a campaign there's ad sets. you don't even need to know what they actually mean. But there's a campaign, there's ad sets, and then there's ads. Your ads are like essentially, you know, the ad that I showed on my screen, which was the like the one with the 500 rupees offer and whatnot. You might see like another video where actually I'll show you guys something really quickly. Uh, what should I show you guys? Show you some new stuff that's working for us. UGC. Sorry guys, I didn't have in mind. But I think it'll be useful for you guys to see what it actually takes, not just talking about it. Okay. So this is one of our current ad winners. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you digging a deeper and deeper hole with your debt?
Sugar helps you become debt-free. First, you tell them about your debts, then they give you some options to lower your payments, then they go hunt for all the options for you. You only pay if they find you cheaper options. If you're in debt, try Sugar today.
Cool. So that's one of ads. Simple, but it works. But we tested like 20 different ads like this with the start being different. You know how she's like, "Are you digging a deeper and deeper hole with your debt?" We just changed that. We just keep changing that. And we just literally, I'm on Sora, just pumping out different versions of this. And it takes me 2 minutes to do that. And I'm just replacing that part, replacing that part, replacing that part. And using Gemini to come up with the scripts. So all in the same format. I haven't even experimented with formats. But yeah, ad set level, you add like this video is one of them, and then you create another ad set with the same with another video, and then another ad set with another video, and then another ad set with another video. As opposed to one campaign, one ad set, multiple ads. So you're having multiple ad sets versus one ad set. Because if you do that, you can force Facebook to show all your ads by giving them $20 of budget or $10 or $5 of budget each, or $2 of budget each. Whereas if you do one ad set, Facebook gets to decide which ad gets shown. So yeah.
Well, thank you for clarifying, for showing.
You give all your ads a fair chance to be shown, essentially.
Yeah. Cool. And just to be clear, that wasn't AI, right? That was an actual person.
What do you guys think?
I'm too scared to get. Well, I think it's real.
AI.
It's definitely AI.
Oh, is it? Oh my God, I've been fooled. Tom, it's your turn.
Thank you. Hey, Dev. Hey, guys. I'm Tom. I'm with Oxbridge-AIx. Hannah Ian's my boss. And I'm also building my own AI startup in content as a content studio. I used to work at TikTok, just graduated Oxford last year. My question for you is that I saw that you started Sugar Wallet 2 years ago, roughly in 2023, which is at an age where everybody's building AI startup. I want to know, why did you go down this path to build this particular app that you're willing to go on this marathon? Thank you.
So I started, thanks for the question, Tom. I actually started 2021 and launched 2022 April. So I did start a little bit before AI, a year and a half to be specific. And I guess at that point, I just wanted to solve a problem, which was that I saw a lot of friends not investing, and I wanted them to invest, and I wanted my mum to invest, and I wanted my partner to invest because no one was investing and they were losing out on a lot. And I didn't really care about which asset class they put money into. Any basic well-performing asset that's had history would be good enough, but they were letting their money rot to inflation. I have, for the last year, been doing R&D on a new product, which is our second product, which is AI focused, which is actually where all my focus is going. And the same principles apply. Except I didn't build an app first, I built a service, and I'm scaling the service and building the back out. I'm automating a lot of the back first, and I'll eventually build something for the front. So right now, it's like people talk to us through WhatsApp and email, but a lot of the work that we do for those people is automated using AI. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Next, the next person. Also, Dev, I was just wondering, do you still want to share anything on your screen, or do you turn off the sharing?
Sorry.
No worries. Yes, next question.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. That was really, really helpful. My question is really for the beginning, if you are thinking about starting a platform or an app which would integrate AI, how would you go about researching who specifically your target demographic is? And I guess, would you need also some sort of budget for that, or would you, well, how would you do that?
Yeah. So I'll give you guys a fairly current example. So we're about to do a growth hack, which will again hopefully get us to the 0 to 200K for an app that uses AI, but honestly, the using AI part really doesn't change much. Unless you're targeting, say, startup founders on Twitter. Like that's a very specific niche, and for that, I would say, well, you need to probably just be on Twitter and follow the right people. But if you don't know who you're targeting, I guess listen to your intuition is my first instinct. But even if you don't know, like I am launching an app in 30 days that is like Spotify wrapped for money. So it kind of shows you like different insights about your financial year in a fun way, kind of like Spotify. I don't know who's going to use this. I have no clue. What is my plan? My plan is to create the same kind of video that I've just shown you with a bunch of scripts centered around, like, oh my God, I didn't like, like one of those type of oh my God, I didn't know how much I was spending on KFC until and then it shows the app screens. I don't know who's going to click that, but the beauty of Facebook, for example, or Instagram ads is that you just choose broad audience and it will show your audience to everyone. And then you will see who clicks it. So you can get a breakdown of if it's 25 to 30-year-olds, if it's 18 to 24-year-olds, etc. You can see who's actually clicking your ad. And you can even use something called oh gosh, hotspot tracking. Just need to remember what it's called. Web landing page. You can use like PostHog and get tracking for free set up on your website and see where they're literally scrolling. So you can see that like, oh, this person who's 24 years old looks at my website like the entire page. And then someone who's 30 years old just like clicks straight away. So you can see you can see which kind of users actually engaging with you. But I would just launch an ad and have your product. A lot of people I know are now building fake landing pages and doing everything until the point of actually downloading the product just to see what kind of product would sell. So they're just creating these imaginary businesses just to see what would sell well on people clicking it and simulating a purchase. So going all the way to the Stripe link.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you so much. And just a really quick follow-up question. How would you even like if you're just starting and you don't know where to start from, how would you build an AI that would use AI? Sorry, build an app that would use AI.
Gemini has just released their build app. It's like you can literally drag and drop AI into your app. It's called if you go to AI Studio, I'll just type that in. AI Studio build, you'll see. It's right there. Sorry, Studio. So you can do that. You can do your classic like Lovable, Bolt, Codex. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how to code a single line of code personally until 6 months ago, and now I've built out 75% of our product just by using Claude Code and now Codex. There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to do that. Yeah.
This could be a good plug for us that we do MVP weekends. So we just had our first one this weekend that just was. And yeah, it was great turnout. So we're going to do them monthly for people who are interested in coming together, building these MVP. And for this last weekend, we got lovable credits. So then, so if people are interested. But yeah, that was just a small plug from us to help you guys. Next question is from Kritika.
Hey Dave, good to meet you and thanks for today's session. I actually come from an advertising background as well, so I do have I love your talk about campaign level and not ad level, and I have some thoughts around that. But I mean, I agree with you. At this stage of building, yes, don't let Facebook determine which ad they show, but at some point, the machine does have a lot of art and science behind it as well. But that's a talk for another day, I think. But for now, I had a question around because you mentioned kind of early in the session that you built the app in Turkey and then an angel in India happened to see that app and then that sort of accelerated your launch in India. I know a lot of that sounds like luck and serendipity, but if you had to kind of reverse engineer that, what would you do?
Which part specifically? Is it the angel noticing it, or is it like which part are you interested in reverse engineering?
I think the angel noticing it because that came up in your story, but if you think there's another part or like another path towards accelerating a launch in a new market, yeah, be keen to hear your thoughts.
I think yeah, I mean for fundraising, I have I have a very different. I have a lot of opinions, specifically for raising from angels. And if that's the reason as to why you would launch in a market, i.e., getting capital, yeah, that's a whole different story, and I'm happy to connect, and I'm happy to give you my playbook. I have a very, very specific playbook as to how to get angel investment. I raised most of my first 2 mil purely through angels, often just through like 1 or 2 emails. But I have very specific tactics. Yeah, but long story short, if someone notices, if you are a rare commodity, people will, or if you're perceived as a rare commodity, you will. It's just FOMO. It's just FOMO. But in this case, the person was of a startup background, and it was actually their intuition to notice, through one of their connections, like someone in their connections had tweeted about me, about like me as a founder, which was a tactic that I had used. I had used a well-connected person to write a story about me, and that led to a lot of inbound angels. And one of them happened to be in India and was like, "Oh my God, I just tried your app and it's really good and it's better than the ones I've got locally." So that's how that happened. Yeah, just get someone who's really well connected to write a story about you and how epic you are.
That's really cool. I thought you'd say something, but more about, create a compelling enough product and put that in people's hands. But it's cool that you mentioned leveraging your network, essentially.
Yeah, I mean the if the person had tried my product and then was like, "Oh, this is lame," they would never reach out. So yeah, I think back to even the presentation, build a good product first, and then everything else, in my view, follows. You can still make a lot of money, but then you'll just end up with the same problem in the end.
Yeah, fair. Cool, thank you.
Cool. Next question.
Dev, thank you so much for the talk. Honestly, sharing so much alpha. It was really great to listen to. I had a question about, so yeah, just a bit of background. I graduated from Cambridge last year. I'm now a startup co-founder. We've built an AI career coach for banking and consulting. We launched around 30 days ago. We've just done organic for now, just to kind of get an idea of what our audience looks like. Now, at the start of your talk, you mentioned kind of like fundamentals and have fundamentals at work. We kind of noticed, although we haven't spent any money on the advertisements, or it's all organic TikTok, there's 2 types of audiences with different lifetime values that we have. Now, what are fundamentals at work? Is it simply lifetime value of the customer is greater than the CAC, or is there a specific level of retention that you aim for, over what time frame? Just trying to get an understanding of what are the fundamentals at work before you try and scale a growth engine.
Yeah. Honestly, I just try and simplify it down to more regular business. I've noticed one gigantic trap in startup land is to overcomplicate what a good business looks like. And I think it helps maybe because I come from a family who's only ever done business, and I ran a small business. And it's like, do you make a good amount of money? Are you sure that you actually make that money? How much does it cost you to get that customer? How much does it then cost you to serve that customer? So for example, in my case, for my new product, I have a customer who is more middle class, and I have a customer who is earning less, perhaps not employed, perhaps on the benefit, perhaps in arrears on their debt. The customers on the lower end have a higher cost to serve, have a lower LTV, have the same cost of acquisition, and that's a function of market size, that actually the middle class has got more people than people in the other segment. So I just try and keep it super simple. Like, do you make a lot of money on this person or business or customer, or will you, and do you have proof of that? And if you're making assumptions, like, are they reasonable assumptions, or are you just trying to be optimistic? Which most founders are. And then how much does it cost to acquire? Does that cost sort of stay around the same? When I scale advertising from $1 or $5 a day to 50 grand a month, it changed the economics. My costs actually went up a little bit, but it was actually still roughly the same. But you can benchmark against like others online. If you just look hard enough, you'll find benchmarks. Like this Desmond guy shares his alpha openly on Twitter. So if you look hard enough, you can find what the cost of scaling, or how it works when you do scale, and what your costs might look like. That's it. I mean, cost to serve, you can break down to a science. Like, I spend this much time on this activity. My AI costs me this many tokens. The cost of those tokens is X. Like, you can break it down to that science. But that's really it. In my case, I could go after both customers. I also have a segment that is a lot richer. Like, I have a segment that primarily earns above 200K, but they're just not as engaged. The cost of acquisition is higher. The referral rate is lower, so therefore the CAC is even higher in some sense. And in my case, my lowest segment tends to retain the worst for my new product, because they need help quickly. If you can't deliver that help quickly, then they're out. Whereas my middle and my higher segments tend to retain pretty much forever, as long as I do a good job. So in my case, retention's a bit tricky, and it's hard for me to advise retention, because I tend to operate in products where retention is permanent if you do a good job.
Yeah. Makes sense. And out of interest, are you able to kind of like share rough order of magnitudes of like what is your, I guess you don't have a subscription product, or and like, for example, we're a SaaS, right? So do you have an idea of like what is like the rough cost per conversion roughly for you, just so we can get a kind of idea of what we should be aiming for?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think my new product's probably a better case study, because we've just started Facebook ads recently for the new product. So for our new product, it's a little bit different. We charge 10% on performance. So we only charge a customer if we save them money or find them more money. And our cost of acquisition is £25 per customer. And we make on average £270 within the first 90 days on the average customer. And then over the year, we'll make closer to £500. And in our case, that our issue is actually capacity, not demand.
Good problem to have. Nice. Thank you so much.
So Does anyone have any more questions? I do have actually one, if people are thinking of more, but you kind of touched on it now at the end, because as I'm curious about like how things looked from a team perspective, like when you guys were scaling so many years and so quickly, like how did that look like for your team? Like were you prepared for such numbers, and like do you have like system and processes to handle the volume, or what was it like on that side, just from your experience?
Yeah, when we first launched sugar in New Zealand, our everything broke because we launched on TV and we didn't expect it to go well. But customers were patient, and we were working day in, day out. There was 4 of us at that time, 3 full-time, 1 intern. Yeah. And then we had learned from that when we launched in different markets. And at that time, we then had 3 engineers, 2 full stack, 1 front end. Now, I mean, now everything's changed. Like now you don't need as many people. But we had 3 full stack engineers. We had 1 ops person, me, who's like a generalist, run around like a headless chicken, and then like a bunch of freelancer partners. That's it. So, oh, and sorry, and we had 3 customer service people when we launched in India, and we hired one of them a lot when things started blowing up. Yeah. So team of 6 for even at scale. Yeah, I don't think you need to blow it up more than that. It was actually a lot just to do with engineering for scale.
So I guess it's like as you see the numbers rise, that's when you start taking those decisions of, okay, how can we handle this?
In the case of India, we actually had we were forced to make a decision way earlier, like a year before that, because it's a financial product. So our open banking partners actually forced us to have things in place for scale. We had to do like things like AWS and pen testing and a bunch of different security measures and database measures and whatnot that were built for scale. Very expensive to run when you're a startup who barely has users. But if you're in the financial industry, you're sort of forced to have all these things in place. So we had to have them in place regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess, yeah. So then you kind of like plan ahead.
Yeah, but the surprising thing was that even with a team of 6, it didn't really make a difference, even at 200,000.
Okay, interesting. So Rita's written in the chat, will Sugar Wallet come to the UK?
Our gold product at some point, maybe. But our new product is already in the market, secretly beta testing. So we are going to keep testing it for another year before we announce our launch, because yeah, we think we know things that people don't, and we want to not be so public with it yet.
Great, fair enough. Any last questions? I think people are good. Well, thank you so much, Dev. This has been a great talk. It's been really fun to see people engaged and hearing from your expertise as you've been through all this. Oh, wait, did a hand pop up? I feel
Yeah,
like
it was me, but it was I just wanted to react and give the clapping hand. So sorry.
No worries.
button.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can react. But yeah, no, thank you so much. It's been really insightful and great to hear your expertise. So everyone, yeah, big thanks from us at Oxbridge-AIx for coming and taking the time out.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. And thanks everyone for being here and engaging. Really means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dev.
awesome. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.